Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okie folks, welcome back. Good morning, Abram. How are you this morning? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I do. I hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I could be better. If I was in the studio, I'd be a whole lot better because right now I'm in a hotel room in Illinois.
Don't worry. We all wish you were in the studio as well, man.
Yeah, it's just, I just got back late Wednesday night, really. Wednesday from England. Got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. We're going to be talking about that. But today I'm giving a couple of talks today and tomorrow to the Midwest Herb Society annual meeting in Illinois. A bunch of people who like to grow stuff that they can flavor and cook with and wrap around cuts and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to be giving a couple of talks out of state. But glad to be. In case you can't tell, this is the best background I could find for the broadcast.
I mean, it looks fine. I was just focused on, I was trying to get my outfit right. I had to match you today.
Well, you're looking mighty fine. Look, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I want to, first of all, welcome everybody to our little party we call the Gestalt Gardener. It is live. Here it is, Friday the 6th. And if there's some things you'd like to talk about, I know there's some things on your mind because I've been watching what a lot of people are doing on the Mississippi Gardening Facebook. People are planting stuff too early. They just can't help it. We're a month before when you really ought to be setting stuff out. But anyway, gardening is gamble, and it's legal to gamble in the garden. But I know there's some people who are thinking about whether to cut the wildflowers or mow the weeds. Some people are starting their tomatoes a little earlier. And we're starting to see a lot of flowers and pollinators and a lot of weird stuff. So if there's some things on your mind, some things you'd like to talk about that's bothering you, or maybe you like a second opinion, or you just want to argue about something, as long as you keep it nice, we'll keep it horticulturally. Because keep in mind, I am a horticulturist, retired associate professor of Mississippi State horticulturist, but I'm also a gardener. Not a great gardener, but a pretty darn good one. I know how to choose good plants. I know how to plant them well. But after that, they're pretty much on their own. So anyway, got plenty of things to talk about, and I brought some things with me from Mississippi to talk about, which we'll do, including some things like this, if we ever need to get into it. These are stickers from the lawn. So if there's some things you want to talk about, give us a call. It's toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING. Abram, I understand you got some stuff going on in your yard right now.
Yeah, I do. So for the live stream producers, there's some pictures at the bottom of the slide. They are labeled A1 through A3, I think. I can we put up A1 in just a second? Because I planted a bush a while ago. There it is right there. I planted a Daphne bush, and I asked for your advice about it. And you gave me some good advice. It's blooming right now. It's, getting close to the mid-March, and it's blooming right now. And I planted it because we were naming my daughter Daphne, and she's here now. She's doing well. I wanted to get a Daphne shrub to kind of honor her, but it's looking good right now.
Yeah, and in case folks who are listening to the program on the radio or the computer, if you want to see what this looks like, if you want to see me and Abram, and also some of the things I brought in, some show and tell, I got quite a few things. If you want to go to YouTube and in the search box type Gestalt Gardener, or go to mpbonline.org and look for Gestalt Gardener. It is live, but you can also look at these anytime, 24/7 on the podcast. So if you wanted to see what winter Daphne looks like, there it is. And it's an unusual plant. Abram, a lot of people don't grow it because it doesn't thrive here. It does okay, but it likes a cooler climate. There's several scattered around the state. People send pictures, and it's sort of like kind of like an azalea. It needs a really well-drained soil. Its roots rot easily, but also it doesn't really like hot, dry weather. So you got to water it in the summertime. Trick is you got to water it really, really good and deep, but not often, because if you keep the roots wet and it's hot, the roots can rot. So good deep soaking every few weeks, and I'm assuming you got in the light shade. You got some shade?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been we planted it like really, really close to the car. Well, not really close to the carport, but enough to where it gets under the shade of the carport once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's looking good. It's looking good. I appreciate your advice, because otherwise I feel like it would have died immediately.
And by the way, did when Java forwarded that last set of pictures, did he send the picture of the phone number of a guy named Bill Perkins?
I don't guess he did. Are we going to get an interview with him later today?
Yeah. He said either time, the first hour, second hour, so whatever's good for you. He's the president of the Camellia Society down in Brookhaven. They got a big show this week, 73rd annual big show. I forgot to call him and remind him, but he said just give him a call. Anyway, I'll text. Do I have your text?
I think so. I think we've done it before, so you should have it. I'm not going to give it to you over the air, but
yeah. There you go. Anyway, I'll send you his number. It's been kind of crazy. I went over to set up for my lecture this morning over at the meeting place, not very far from the hotel where I'm staying. And they were supposed to set up a place in an office for me to broadcast, and the office manager wasn't there, so I had to scurry back. In case you wonder why I'm broadcasting from a hotel room and kind of out of breath. But I want to throw out a couple of things. First of all, is Kevin Farrell our live stream? Is he the phone greeter today?
Yes, sir. Kevin Farrell is answering our phones, and he's got us a few lined up whenever you're ready. But
okay, well, I've got a pun for him, of course. I went to the grocery store the other day. I was just looking for some fresh fruit because, I've been gone. I needed to stock my refrigerator. And I noticed that there was a grape rolling around the floor. Somebody had dropped a grape on the floor. And I accidentally stepped on it. I stepped on it. And I thought it was just going to make a squeak. I thought it said something. And I leaned closer, but all it did was just gave a little whine.
I think I saw that on the gardening Facebook.
Gardening Facebook. There you go. And you saw it. That's where I stole it from too. But anyway. Shameless.
Oh no, I would never do that to you for making a pun. Do you want to go to the phones, or you got another one?
Yeah. Let me give two events that are coming up, because I want to hit them several times. They're coming up one this weekend, Saturday, which is tomorrow. The 73rd annual Camellia Show in Brookhaven. It's going to be at the Brookhaven building, which is on Beltline Road. It's free from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We're going to talk with Jim a little bit later. But also next week, I'm doing two programs. On March the 12th, Thursday, March the 12th, I'm doing a program at the Bolivar County Library in Cleveland. It's a free program. It's going to be in the evening. I think it's 7. I don't remember what time it is. But if you'll check out with the Bolivar County Library in Cleveland, I'm going to be giving a talk there next Thursday night on the 12th. And on the 13th is a real special thing. This is the first time the Agriculture Museum in Jackson had done a lecture series, and they want to kick it off with me. So next Friday, the 13th, after I get off the program next Friday, I'm head to the Agriculture Museum, which is on Lakeland Drive, almost to Interstate 55 in Jackson. The presentation is at noon. I'm going to be talking about heirloom plants and native plants and about herbs. There'll be a little tour of the herb garden afterwards. And thanks to a grant from the Mississippi Humanities Council, they're not charging entry to my lecture. So I hope to see some of y'all next Friday, the 13th, at the Agriculture Museum. We're going to start right on time at noon. So, and it'll be kind of fun. Looking forward to it. The garden looks good, the herb garden, which has been taken care of by master gardeners. So anyway, next Friday, the 13th at noon, Agriculture Museum at the main building. And on the 12th, I'm going to be giving a program at the Bolivar County Library in Cleveland. So anyway, let's go we're here to talk about what's on people's minds. This is a party, so open it up, man. Who we got?
Well, first up, we had Carol from Laurel call in today, so let's go to Carol.
Morning, Carol. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
My St. Augustine grass. I want to know when to fertilize it and what to fertilize it with.
A good question. First of all, a lot of people, as you know, you ride around Laurel, and there's a lot of people that don't ever fertilize their grass, and it looks okay. So if I were to say you got to fertilize it, like the university taught me, I'd be blowing smoke. You ought to fertilize at least every 3 or 4 years, at least. I would wait till April after the grass had been greened up and mowed a couple of times. It kind of jump-started its new root system when it greens up. It's called spring transition to turf people. So if you wait till it's been mowed a time or two into April to fertilize it, that'd be ideal. If you could find a garden center that sells stuff called centipede food, fertilizer for centipede grass, that's really perfect for centipede and St. Augustine. Otherwise, just use a good quality lawn food. I know they're a little bit more expensive than triple 13, but they have a type of nitrogen that's long lasting. It's long, it's slow and gentle. It doesn't make your grass jump like triple 13 does. So a good quality lawn food. And by the way, if it's a little pricey, you can make the bag go twice as far as it says it'll do. The directions for the maximum. So if you'll get a good quality lawn food, make the bag go further than it says it does sometime in April, that's fertile. Now, let me recommend this though. If you've been cutting your grass close, like a lot of our neighbors do, that's not good for St. Augustine. It gets thin. It gets more. It has more trouble with heat and drought. It also has more weeds. So if you can, the single most important thing you can do for a good quality St. Augustine or centipede lawn is raise your mower. If you can't raise it the highest, at least raise it a notch. The higher you mow it, the better off it's going to be and the fewer problems you'll have. So more than you ever asked for.
3 inches? What about 3 inches?
Well, the highest, the second highest, that'd be better, but most people aren't going to, see, I'm old enough to remember shag carpets, shag rugs, you don't want a shag rug out there because you can lose your shoe in it. But as high as you can stand it. The main thing is just don't scalp it like a lot of people do. And that's,
okay.
Mowing high every now and then, fertilizing every 2 or 3 or 4 years. That's about as good as it gets from most St. Augustine lawns.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you, John. All righty. Jones County. Laurel's got they got a really, I don't know Abram, if you've been to the museum they've got down there. It's one of the coolest museums in the state. I can't remember the whole name, but it's an art museum. It is really, really cool. But I'll tell you something else unusual about Laurel. They've got a kind of a green park, a park down by the museum. You got old rock footbridges and things. A lot of people don't realize that park was designed by the same guy who designed Central Park in New York.
Oh, wow. Yeah. How did they get away with that? That's awesome.
Well, when Laurel was formed, a lot of people from New England moved down there because they had logging interests. They cut down all their trees in New England, so they moved down south, and they ran a special train track to Laurel just to harvest logs. But a lot of moneyed people came down and built all those nice Victorian-looking buildings and all. But anyway, Frederick Olmsted, who did the Central Park, did the park in Laurel. Oddball stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that you know that, if I'm being honest.
Who else we got?
We have John in Mobile who is ready for us. John has been holding on for a little bit, and then we can go to break after that.
Hey, John. Good morning, sir. What's up?
Good morning. I've got 3 citrus trees in my yard, a little citrus grove I've got.
Yeah.
And 2 of them appear to have survived the freezing weather down here that we had for a few days. The third one, when I say they appear, I got new growth on 2 of the 3. The third one doesn't have any new growth, but the little branches on it still look to be green. I'm not sure if I should give up on it or just give it some more time. I did fertilize it about all 3 of them about a week ago.
Yeah, before you give up on it, do a couple of things, because I've been seeing a lot of damage to citrus trees. If you'll scratch the bark, if it's bright green right under the bark, that part's alive, but follow it all the way down close to the ground and make sure the bark hasn't split. Sometimes a sudden hard freeze will freeze the sap and it'll bust the bark, and that can cause real serious problems. We've seen this quite a bit. But if the bark is intact and it's bright green, I would just either give it some time or try this. It sounds weird. But plants have hormones just like people do. And when we get scared, we get a shot of adrenaline that makes us get up and go. Plants have a hormone called traumatin. And anytime a plant is wounded, it kicks in that traumatin, which stimulates fast, strong new growth. You can do that by lightly pruning. If you'll just prune some of the branches back, that releases traumatin. Or if you'll take some of the branches and just bend them, not where they break. Don't crack your fingernail, your knuckle with it, but bend them over and let them snap back in place. That little bit of stretchy will also release traumatin that can kickstart new growth. Sounds weird, but it's true.
Okay. Well, you never know what's going to happen with Mother Nature.
Yeah. Now, if your neighbors see you taking a baseball bat to the tree, that's excessive.
Well, I've got a privacy fence, so they're not going to see anything.
But have you ever heard of people switching their okra? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, old timers, they would take a stick out in their okra when the okra was sort of shut down in the summertime. They'd just take a stick and they just beat they didn't tear them up, but they would just shake them up a good bit. And pruning and anything that stimulates stress on the tree jumpstarts flowering. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Well, I grew up north, so okra's foreign to me. So.
Okay. Well, you can't do that to rhubarb. By the way, I'm giving a talk to the Midwest Herb Society, and I'm going to point out that rhubarb is definitely a northern thing. And my way of thinking, rhubarb is so common. They call it pie plant. And anybody that doesn't have pie plant doesn't have any friends because everybody shares it. Anyway, you had cherries and and English peas. We got okra and figs.
Okay. All righty. All right. Well, I'll give that a try there and see what happens with it. Thanks.
All righty. Appreciate it. All right, I've got some pictures I'd like to show, some unusual things, but we need to take a break, I understand.
Yes, sir. I've got us going into it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna shoot you the phone number of our interview. You can either do it after after the 30-minute break or next hour, but I'm gonna text it to you right now. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. This is the Gestalt Gardener on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. All the folks at MPB, we welcome you. Thanks for joining us.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you hated, go on about their business. Who cares of us?
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar's right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okay, welcome back, Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. And Abram, I'm just kind of discombobulated because I'm, for this time last week I was in England, now I'm in Illinois and I'm in a hotel room. But we'll get through this. I got some pictures to show, some interesting things in an interview coming up, but we've got some callers on the line. Who got lined up?
Let's go to Russ on the road first.
Morning, Russ. Where are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Just riding the start, Bull.
All righty. Hands on the wheel. What's up?
I had a couple of years ago, I had a Japanese maple pretty close to the house that just died. I don't know if it just got too dry or what happened.
Yeah, mine too.
I want to plant another one, and I don't know if it's too early or too late, and if it's just right, how can I set myself up for success, or do I need to find another tree?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, over the years, I've planted probably 7 or 8 Japanese maples. You said Japanese maple, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I've still got 2 because what happens in the middle of summer, they just up and die. And it's a combination of things. First of all, you can have one in the sun and one. We have a church in my neighborhood that got one on each side of the porch, their entryway. The one on the west side of the full sun died. The one on the east that gets just morning sun is in great shape. So they'll take hot afternoon sun, but they do better if they get maybe some morning light, but not hot midday or late afternoon sun. So that's the first thing. Make sure it's not broiling hot sun. Also, up against your house is a lot of really hot radiated heat. It irradiates heat all night long. And these plants are native to a temperate part of China. They don't like all night heat. So if you could pull it away from the house a little bit where it gets morning sun. Next thing is they have to have good drainage. If they stay really wet in the wintertime, they get root rot. And summertime, it gets hot and dry, they don't have roots. Also, if it gets too dry in the summertime, they'll still suffer. You need to have it where it's well-drained soil. In other words, dig a wide hole, add a little bit of stuff to it, not too much, but sort of make it raised up like a baseball pitcher mound, 5 or 6 inches high in the middle, 3 or 4 feet across. Raise it up just enough to where it drains in wet weather, but not so much you have to water it. And then give it a good soaking. I'm going to say every 3 or 4 weeks, no more than every couple of 3 weeks, but a good deep soaking during dry spells without keeping it wet. And the last thing is when you pull it out of the pot, loosen up the potting soil and some of the roots. Stir that into your dirt. Don't just pull it out of the pot, stick it in the ground because that area stays wetter, drier than dirt around it. So slightly raised, pretty good soil, not too much sun, loosen up the potting soil, and then give it a good deep soaking every now and then. And that's the best. Even then, you're going to lose sometimes because of our just weird weather. I've got one that's 15 years old. It's doing great.
Yeah. Well, I sure appreciate it. Thanks for your time today.
Okay, good luck on. And by the way, the one that died, is it still out there?
No, I cut it level with the earth. I gotta.
Well, the reason I'm saying you could have hung Mardi Gras beads on it. I mean, come on, it's dead, right?
Yeah.
It's not like putting a funny hat on there. Anyway. If it doesn't work again, hang some Mardi Gras beads on it. That'll make it at least look pretty. Good luck on it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir.
You bet. What we got, Abram?
We are going to go straight to Stephen in Boonville next.
Boonville. What's up, Stephen? What's up in the hills?
Well, yeah. Well, just gloomy weather right now, but I had a question that it's what I'm going to explain leads into an agricultural question. Years ago, I had spoken to a weatherman who's passed away now. He was from Tupelo, Dick Rice. I don't know if you were familiar with him, but he was a master gardener, and but he was the weatherman. And I called him with the question, why? I've lived here in Boonville for over 40 years. Why do we get so many lightning strikes that are actually hitting things in this area of Boonville? And his question was really fascinating. He said that's usually a symptom of a lot of heavy metals in the ground.
Yeah.
So my question is, if that's the case, is that putting more acid or alkali into the ground that I need to be thinking about?
That's a real good question. That's a real good question. It's a weird question. I got to mention because I haven't heard that metal thing. I'm gonna look into that. But heavy metals don't necessarily make the soil more acidic or not. They really don't. part of, over in your side of the state, as I'm from the Delta, I'm living in the Jackson area. We have pretty acidic soil, not too acidic, but over in your part of the area, there's a lot of limestone, and the soil is actually alkaline. The only way to tell for sure, is to have your soil tested by taking a few little samples, boxing them up, taking the extension service, or just ask the county extension agent, on average, do most of the new soils around there need lime or not? Just on average, because they'll know. They'll know if on average you need lime or not. In the Jackson area, on average, they do every 3 or 4 or 5 years. But anyway, other than just getting a ballpark figure from somebody who deals with this all the time, only way to tell for sure. And getting one of the little soil testing kits, that doesn't cut it. All they do is they test the pH of the moisture in the soil at that moment. So the only way to tell really for sure is to send a sample off to the lab, because they dry it out. They do special things. I tested soils for Mississippi State for a long time. So anyway, that's the only way to tell for sure. And if you do need lime, it lasts for 2 or 3 or 4 years, so you don't have to do this all the time. Good question, though.
Okay, well, I was curious because I see a lot of red clay, and I figured there must be a lot of iron in there to make it rusty red.
Yeah.
That was my conclusion. I don't know.
Exactly. And, then the truth is, the pH of the soil, unless the soil is extremely acidic, I'm talking about below 5 on a scale of 1 to 14, 7 is neutral. Most plants do fine, 5.5 to 7.5. Unless it's really extremely acidic or extremely alkaline, it's not that big a deal. All it does is interferes with plants' ability to absorb nutrients. And if you fertilize her like normal, it's really not that big a deal. Anyway, call the county extension office, see what their average is, and if they don't know, ask them to find out. All they got to do is call the soil testing lab and say, what's it for our county?
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Good question. This is called Think Radio for a reason. You got me thinking. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
And Stephen, I'm from the Tupelo area. I remember the name Dick Rice. I remember watching him on the news all the time doing meteorology. Man, I had forgotten. I hadn't thought about that name in a while, but I hope he's resting easy.
I sure do. Thank you, sir.
All righty. Have we got any more calls?
We do not have any calls right now. I do want to say a few things. Good morning to the live stream. We had Kendall, Margie, and Timothy all say good morning to everyone. A few of them say good morning to Java and Felder, so I hate to disappoint all of you, but I am filling in. And then also,
Java's feeling poorly this morning.
He is feeling a little bit under the weather today, and it's really going through all of the radio department. So we'll try to have everyone on the air next week. And then Rita asked a question if you want to get to that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then before we go to my tune, I want to show 2 pictures because they're really creepy.
Okay, perfect. Well, first Rita says, "Good morning, Felder and Abram. What is a good fertilizer for my shrubs? And is it ginkgo tree?"
Ginkgo, yeah.
Okay. And then she says, "Thank you."
Yeah. In general, and everybody got their favorite. I tested soils from Mississippi State for years. In general, it's not that big a deal. It's like ketchup. Some ketchup runs faster or slower than others. There's salsa, which is sort of like ketchup. But in general, most fertilizers that have all 3 numbers, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, if you put that out every 3 or 4 years around flowering shrubs and trees, that's all they need. We over fertilize because fertilizer is a huge profit item. I'm not against people selling stuff and making a profit and earning a living, but plants don't need fertilizer as much as the people who sell fertilizer say we do. So a good all-purpose tree and shrub food every 3 or 4 years is plenty. If you've got grass growing in the area, if you fertilize the grass, that's more than enough for the trees too. I'm really sure of this. But I'm not going to get into the exact numbers. As long as the numbers, all 3 are pretty close to the same, reasonably so, that'll work. And it doesn't matter what kind of fertilizer it is, the numbers, whether it's a 13-13-13 or 2-1-1 or whatever, as long as the numbers are pretty close. Just main thing is not every year. You just don't need it.
All right. Well, I hope that helps, Rita. You said you wanted to go to a few pictures?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that, there's so much going on, but everybody's got things on their mind. But if they could put up picture number 3. I saw this day before yesterday, and picture number 3 is something that is already irritating people. Have you ever seen this creature before, Abram?
I'm sure I have, but I don't like it at all.
They're big. They're big. Their legs and everything will fit inside a teacup. It's called a crane fly. Some people call them mosquito hawks.
Oh, yeah. That's just a way close up picture that I haven't seen before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, it's big. It's bigger than a spider. Anyway, they're starting to come out, and a lot of people are freaking out. They don't bite. They don't even live long. They feed on a little bit of nectar. Their larvae are really important food for things in the soil, but these are also really important food for wildlife. Crane flies irritate us. But the thing I wanted to show, and this is the really esoteric little thing. I don't know if you can tell, but behind the wings, there's a little stem with a knot on it. Can you see the little knob on a stem right behind his wing?
Yeah. What is going on there?
Only flies have that. It's a flight stabilizer. Flies, if they didn't have this, they would wobble to pieces. So crane flies are the most obvious where you can see the flight stabilizer that all flies have. Bees don't have it, butterflies don't have it. But if they didn't have, and they vibrate when they fly. It's a flight stabilizer.
So he's got a little rotor in the back.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, and, not to be cruel, but if you snip one of them off, the thing will fly in circles. Okay, I didn't go there. I did not go there. But anyway,
not encouraging it.
Listen, Abram, crane flies irritate people because they come in the house, they bum around the screen door, they're creepy. They don't bite, they don't sting. They're They are bird food, but they also have flight stabilizers. And, looking at something closely helps you appreciate it. I'm all about that. Anyway, the next picture before we go to the break, picture number 5A. I said 2 5s by accident. Picture 5A, I found this in the garden, and it's really kind of creepy looking. It's about the size of the end of my little finger.
I can't even tell what that is. It looks like the cockroaches from Men in Black.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And it's really tight. I see those little stripes look like ribs on it.
Yeah.
Every one of those is a chamber. This is an egg case from praying mantis. A praying mantis lays that, and in the spring, the tiniest the praying mantis are now this is weird. They're about the size of a crane fly flight stabilizer. Anyway, praying mantis, really, really beneficial. They eat a lot of bugs and stuff. If you have one by the hummingbird feeder, keep in mind that they'll try to snag a hummingbird. They're just trying to make a living. But main thing is, if you see something like this, it's a lot of creepy stuff out there, and it's up to me to share it. So anyway, a lot of that. If we could wait until after the next hour before we do my interview, I think it's time to take a little break and play one of my cheesy tunes. Which one you going with?
What you thinking?
Well, I got how about Red Red Robin?
Perfect. All right, I'll pull that up.
It's about a minute long, and I got plenty of other stuff. Frost cloth covering raised bed. If you're planting stuff too early, need to be prepared to cover it up. And also, I'd like some advice on red, white, and blue flowers. This is our 250th anniversary of our country, and red, white, and blue for the summertime. There's a lot of stuff for this time of year, petunias and all, but what would be some good red, white, and blue plants to put in a pot? Anyway, horticulturalist Felder Rushing, me and Abram, folks at MPB, we'll be right back.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Sent you those pictures. I just sent you those pictures.
Perfect. Well, we're on now. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Okie dokie, folks. Welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. Kind of disjointed. I'm up in Illinois about to give a talk to the Midwest Herb Society, and they didn't have it set up, so I had to run back to the hotel room and broadcast from there. But I do have all sorts of stuff to show, and we're going to talk about that later. Some things I brought from my garden in Jackson. So we'll talk about that in a bit, but let's take a real quick phone call, and then we got an interview coming up. Who we got?
Let's start with Deborah in Meridian.
Morning, Deborah. Good morning. Howdy.
I'm just fine. How are you doing today?
So far, so good. A little discombobulated, but I'm cheerful.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Take your time.
Thank you. What's up?
I have a comment about something, and I have a problem in my garden. So okay. I have 7 metal raised beds in the front of my garden. And I'm 71 years old, so I can't garden in the ground like I used to.
Me too.
Yesterday, I was out pulling weeds out of the garden, and I noticed in some of my beds I had termites.
Yeah.
So I need to know, how can I get rid of these termites? When I looked it up, I heard nematodes. So I was thinking about ordering nematodes.
No. They take forever. Anything that will control fire ants will control termites. So if you'll get something, so we don't really want to use insecticides in the garden, but and termites aren't going to hurt your garden. They're just eating the bark and stuff. So I mean, you could garden around. I mean, they've been known to get into old woody stems of okra, but other than that, if you just dig your dirt really pretty good, they're not that big a deal, seriously. But if you wanted to put any kind of granule or a liquid that's labeled for fire ants that you could put in the vegetable garden and just soak your dirt with it before you plant, a couple of 3 days, just mix it up with a lot of water and just really soak it good, and then give it 3 or 4 days for the insecticide to settle down and disappear before you plant. And that'll work pretty well.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And the comment I have is I bought about 10 bags of potting soil, and I was going to top dress my beds with those. But when I opened up one of the bags, it looked like mulch. It was so much wood in it.
Yeah. That's unfortunately because the really good ingredients, peat moss, for example, are expensive. It comes from Canada. It's very expensive, especially with trade wars and all that stuff. They've gone to using just filler stuff. It's sort of like buying a can of soup and it's mostly macaroni. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you could use it as a top dress, but I would go ahead and just dig it into your dirt. If you could get, if it's possible, to take some of it back and swap it out for either compost or manure. Manure is really good, and use about half and half. But what I would do is I would dig your dirt up really, really good, treat for the fire ants, I mean, the termites, then spread the stuff and dig it in. You don't want to dig it in with termites because it's like feeding them pizza. You know, they love it. But if you'll treat for the termites and then just work it in a little bit, if you could get some real compost or some manure, both of those can be worked in and they make the dirt a whole lot creamier. It's just a whole lot better.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, good question too. But what a weird thing to be thinking of. And by the way, I'm a little bit older than you, and I garden in big old galvanized tubs too. But I spray painted mine to be pretty, because why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Thank you for your call. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Okay, I would really like to take phone calls, but I've been wanting to talk to this guy for quite some time. Abram, have you got our guest Bill on?
He is ready for you.
Okay, we've got with us Bill Perkins, who's with the Camellia Society down in Brookhaven. How are you doing this morning, Bill? Thanks for joining us.
Doing great. Beautiful day down here, Felder.
Oh yeah, and it's got everybody's juices going. But how are you going to get people to come to a flower show on a Saturday afternoon when it's so pretty outside?
Well, they'll show up. And we also have a plant sale. We got about 16 camellias to sell, so that's also a draw too, Felder.
Good. This show is going to be, it's open to this. It's pretty much all day Saturday, but it's open to the public from 2 till 5 for people to come in and look at the camellias and to look at the plant sale.
Right. The plant sale begins at 8:30 when the show opens up, and that's going to be when you can bring your blooms in to enter them into the contest of the show from 8:30 to 10:30. Then there's judging, and then from 2 o'clock to 5, the public can come view it. And there's usually about 800 to 1,000 blooms recent years. But this is our 73rd year to do this, uninterrupted.
I understand your dad started this club.
He began it when I was born in 1953. So it's going on. And as far as we know, we've never missed a show all 73 years, including the year 2020 with COVID. We pulled our show off before people knew what COVID was that year.
Yeah. And it's not hard to, if you're from Brookhaven, it's not hard to find it, but it's at the Brookhaven building, which is out by the airport, right?
It's out near the airport, and most people around here know it, but you can easily Google it or MapQuest it. It'll take you right to it. It's pretty easy to get to from I-55 on the north exit. It's almost a direct shot. Takes you right over to it.
Yeah, right through town. I'm not sure. Abram, have we got the pictures that I sent?
I just told Marissa and John C that we got them in the folder.
Okay. Well, I don't know if they could put one of them up, but if they could, picture number 1. Bill, this is a picture I took of some of the camellias I collected at Eudora. There it is. I picked it at Eudora Welty's house in Jackson. The variety is incredible. I took these right before a freeze, but the unbelievable. Those that bloom in winter, people cannot appreciate how lucky we are here in the South have camellias in the wintertime. And are yours grown mostly in the yard, or are they mostly grown in greenhouses and coddled?
Well, most all the ones these days are grown outside. The greenhouse days are kind of passé. Back years ago, the 50s, 60s, 70s, into the 80s, there were a number of people doing greenhouses. Those are protected. Some of those can't do too well in hardy weather. But anyway, there's very little of that going on. All of our competition blooms are really outdoor ones now, so we don't really have the unprotected anymore.
This is an unusual little factoid, but I went through St. Louis yesterday on my way up to this talk, and the Botanic Garden there, Shaw's Garden, has got the oldest greenhouse west of the Mississippi River, and it was huge. It was built for camellias. It's the camellia house. Let me ask you this: the camellias that y'all show, are they like what I can grow, or do y'all still do the gibberellic acid and all that stuff?
No, the gibberellic acid we haven't done that in ages. We used to have an early show here, Felder, back closer to Thanksgiving, late November.
So you had
blooms, and people use the gibberellic acid to try to accelerate the blooms coming out early, but we haven't used that. We have the latest show, by the way, in the Southeast. The Brookhaven show is after Pensacola, Mobile, New Orleans, Covington, Baton Rouge. We're the latest one, but there's still a lot of blooms out, and camellias are winter blooming plants. They're evergreen, and they start blooming. Succinct was the small ones, late September, early October. And the japonicas, the reticulatas, they're going to bloom all the way up until April, actually, for some of them. So we've still got plenty right now that'll be at the show. We'll have at least probably around 1,000 blooms that'll be entered at the show. Yeah. So there's still plenty of them out there.
And these are what I call yard plants. Anybody can grow them.
Oh, yes. I mean, if you plant them correctly, and even if you don't plant them correctly, they're still going to probably grow. But the idea is to plant them with a little bit higher than what the ground level is. So they don't hold water. They don't like to have too much water.
Like on a little
like to have good drainage.
Yeah, a little low, wide mound is what I say. And as far as the different kinds, you mentioned the ones that bloom in the fall. Have you ever grown the Camellia sinensis? And by the way, Abram, I have picture number 3. This is in my yard. Camellia sinensis. It's not going to win any flower show awards because, first of all, it flowers in the fall. But second of all, it's a dinky little flower. It's not much bigger than my toenail.
Well, there's so many different types of camellias. Some have been hybridized into huge blooms, and then some are very miniature. So we have even categories for the miniatures, for example. But anyway, the camellias are going to be blooming all the way through winter. So we have a friend of ours down here just south of here, Northfield, has 2.5 million bees. Well, he's been getting our camellias because our winters, as you know, are warm and cold and warm and cold. And when they gets warm, the bees come out and they've got nowhere to go because he's putting camellias everywhere because they love camellias in the wintertime because they're about the only thing they can pollinate.
Not many people think about that, but now, this is a weird question. I ask this to every plant. I'd give talks to hosta, iris, African violet, daylily, you name it. And it's hard to pin down a president of a club, but do you have a favorite old-fashioned camellia?
What I like
on the spot.
It's not colorful. It's the Black Magic, and it's a totally black bloom, and it's kind of hard to get. There's a couple other species like the Black Magic or similar that have black blooms, but for some reason it's not easy to grow. I've gotten many and lost them over the years. They're too experimental, but I'm still determined to get some to flourish, and they will eventually. But that's my favorite one there. Then there's one named after my uncle who was president of the International Society twice back in the 80s, and then the American Camellia Society once. And he and his buddies were playing with Mother Nature, and one of his friends, Boozy Becker here, a banker, created the Tom Perkins. It's a very colorful pink one. And then my uncle created one for his buddy Boozy B. So it's called the Boozy B. So there were actually 4 different camellias that originate here in Brookhaven from the greenhouse days when they used to, try to fool Mother Nature into doing something different.
Well, I've got a picture. If Abram, if they could put up picture number 2. If I had to have a favorite, this is because my great-grandmother had one of these in her yard. It's still there, and it's been there since before I was born, and I'm in my 70s. This is Pink Perfection. It's just hard to beat Pink Perfection. I know it's boring.
Yes, Pink Perfection is very popular, and everybody loves that one. That category at the show will be one of the largest categories. It's very, very popular. But back to your question, for colorful ones, my favorite is probably the Guest Star. And look that one up sometime. The Guest Star. Okay. That's I've written a couple of articles about the Guest Star. It's a very appealing camellia.
Well, we're gonna have to take a break, but y'all are having the show. The plant sale is going to be starting Saturday morning, but the show itself, to look at all these flowers for the public, is going to start at 2:00. It's going to be at the Brookhaven building, which is straight through town on the main drag from the interstate. And that's this Saturday. I hope y'all have a good turnout. It's awfully pretty weather. We've had a good year for camellia. In spite of that freeze we had a few weeks ago, it's pretty darn good.
That tends to invigorate a lot of the plants. A lot of blooms come out after those freezes. One more thing, Felder, is the Master Gardeners in Lincoln County, every year they get all the blooms, about 1,000 blooms, and they take them at the end of the show to the assisted living facilities around Brookhaven. So they get to be enjoyed by the residents there. So that's one more benefit of the show.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it so much. Hope y'all have a good turnout. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Felder. Appreciate it.
You bet. See ya. Yeah, we didn't have a chance to pull up picture. If they can do their real quick picture number 3. I just want to show what the picture of Camellia sinensis, this flower is the size of my toenail. Abram, all the tea in China is made from the leaves of this camellia, Camellia sinensis. All the tea in China is made from this one camellia. Not very pretty, and it blooms in the fall, but it is something you can grow in your yard and make oolong, whatever kind of tea you want from this one yard plant. Just want to throw that out.
That's cool. I feel like tea is so popular in like Eastern countries and stuff like that. So I feel like it's pretty wild to have it all built from one spot.
Yeah, but but that particular one, which we have one at the Agriculture Museum, we're gonna have I'm doing a program at noon next Friday at the Agriculture Museum. I'm gonna be showing one of these Camellia sinensis at the herb gardens. Anyway, we'll talk about that more about that later. But did we blow through all of our calls or leave some folks hanging?
We have a call coming in, but we only have about a minute and a half. Do you want to try to see if we can get Shelly in real quick, or ask her to wait till the next hour?
If we could just wait till the next hour,
gotcha.
I appreciate that, so we have more time. But while we're doing that, I brought a picture of a camellia and a paper white and jonquils and nandinas. This is a bouquet from my garden. I just want to show off that you can have stuff. It's hard to do that in the hotel room because I don't have a green screen here. But anyway, I brought flowers from my yard all the way to Illinois just to show off to people up north. They don't have stuff like this.
Your camera's trying to be a little dramatic for you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But the problem is driving all the way up here in my Jeep with paper whites. Some people think paper white narcissus smell like cat pee. Well, all of my clothes smell like cat pee. It's a weird world, man. It is a weird world. And I'm so glad to be part of it. And gardening makes it so much easier. So,
I mean, it's always good to find something that you can give back in a way. And I feel like you found that in that is your calling, Felder, is the gardening giving back.
Yeah, I stole some redbud flowers too, by the way. If the redbuds are blooming, I throw this out as a challenge before we take our break. But redbud flowers are perfectly edible. They taste like raw peanuts. Give them a try. I love being a gardener because there's so much weird stuff to talk about. We're going to take a break and come back with another hour for you to call and talk about what's going on in your garden, including red, white, and blue flowers. Got plenty of stuff to yak about. So how much time we got before our break?
About 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, while I'm doing that, I'm going to hold this up, and I'm going to show it again next hour. These little green, ferny-looking things are what we call stickers. And stickers are in your yard right now. It's getting too late to control them, but we're going to talk about in the next hour what you can do to control stickers or mow around some of the wildflowers. Anyway, me and Abram and all the folks at MPB, we're going to see you after the news this next hour. We're going to keep getting dirty, folks.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okie dokie, folks. Welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. And before we get into the call, I meant to ask you, I just got so discombobulated, Abram. How's your little Daphne doing? How old is she now?
She will be 3 months on Monday. She's doing so well. She's very, very sweet, always smiling, having a great time. Unless she's hungry or needs a diaper change, she's doing a great job.
Well, congratulations. She's still a larvae, though.
Yeah, she's very, very little. She, it's so wild to see someone that fits in your arms.
Yeah, those little wrinkly things grow up to be beautiful butterflies, but they got to go through that teenage caterpillar thing. So let's talk about Daphne when she's 14, brother.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how she's doing then. Right now she's perfect in every single way. So until then, we'll see.
Let's slide down Highway 51 to Crystal Springs. Talk to my friend Shelly. Shelly, how are you this morning?
I'm great, Felder. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry it took so long to get to you, but we just, you know how I am.
Hey, that's no problem. And I'm loving the new format, by the way. I don't get to listen very often, but I like it.
Before we can go any further, Shelly Batista, you what we call a mom and pop garden center, a real mom and pop type garden center where you buy what you think people ought to plant there in Crystal Springs. But you did the coolest thing. I show this every year. You would take okra pods and paint them into long, skinny Santa Claus faces or long ghost faces for holiday ornaments. I still have a whole bunch of them. And also, you got one of the funnest yards in the state. You tend to accessorize on the creepy side, which I love.
I was going to tell you, I got some galvanized raised beds and I painted them black.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Luckily, a lot of people think galvanized, overheats. It does get hot, but it doesn't go very far into the soil. But black tends to absorb warmth rather than reflect it like white wood. But at the same time, it doesn't go very far into the soil, so it's not really a problem like some people think. So what you get? What's up?
This Thursday, March the 12th at 5:30, the Copiah County Master Gardeners are going to be here at the nursery. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to talk about spring seeds to start, how to start seeds and transfer your starts into the garden.
Okay, so that's your place. And your place is on Highway 27 in Crystal Springs, but it's straight off the interstate through the across the railroad bridge. About a mile from the interstate.
Yeah, it's about a mile off I-55, 1 mile east.
Yeah, on that main Crystal Spring exit. Got a lot of cool stuff. Have you ever sold any of the Camellia sinensis plants? Have you ever seen any for sale?
Yeah, I've had several, and I've got a couple right now. Yeah, they're great plants.
Good. Because I didn't know if there's a wholesale source for them or what, but it's a cool little, it's not going to win any awards at the Camellia Show because it blooms in the fall, but it's just a little unusual plant that people like you and I enjoy growing just for the fun of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the Great Mississippi Tea Company in Brookhaven sells them as well.
Okay, good. So you're having your event at 5:30 next Thursday, and it's on seeds starting and transplanting and stuff like that with the Master Gardeners.
That's right. They'll all be here, and if anybody was ever interested in becoming a master gardener, it'll be a good time to come and talk to them.
Okay, for years you've heard me say this. Copiah County Master Gardener, y'all are doing what master gardeners are set up to do. That's learn how to do stuff and then actually teach other people. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. It's good to talk to you, Felder.
Okay, appreciate it. And Abram, by the way, she's got a bathroom garden with a toilet and a bathtub and sink and everything planted. It's really, really cool.
So she just has stuff growing out of toilets in her backyard, or what's?
Yeah, but
That's fun.
No, it's at her garden center.
Oh, okay.
She used a creative recycled container. Got a little area with a bathtub and all that stuff. So anyway, it's just I appreciate people who think outside the box, and that's what Think Radio is all about. So we got any other callers?
We do not have any other callers currently. We do have some people coming in on the live stream, but if you would like to call us at 877-MPB-RING. That is 877-672-7464. You can also find the live stream on YouTube by typing in the Gestalt Gardener, or typing in Mississippi Public Broadcasting is a good way to find us. And speaking of the YouTube, we did have a little bit of a funny question come in from Joan, who says, "Hey Felder, how can I convince my husband to fire the lawn service he pays for? I see the results of their spray applications and I just don't agree with what they're doing and know I could do better than them."
Well, that's a good question, and I have a foot on both sides of that. And this is, I've always been a little bold about stuff because, on one hand, I'm trained in turf science. I studied at Mississippi State, the Scott's Turf Institute up in Ohio. I've been working with golf courses, so I understand turf management, and I understand that people want to have a neatly maintained, perfectly manicured golf course type lawn. But I also know that St. Augustine centipede, they don't like that. It's bad for them. I mean, they need to be mowed high, not fertilized a lot. And if you mow high and don't fertilize heavy and water at least once every 3 or 4 weeks, you're not going to have trouble with weeds and stuff. It's just too thick. You see all these beautiful lawns around with no weeds because they don't mow them all the time. They keep them high. Anyway, to answer her question, I would look at it a value thing. If he's paying them to mow, that's fine because he's got other stuff on his mind. But here's what I would do. If they don't stop, it takes 45 seconds to change the mower height. If they don't adjust their mower and mow your lawn at the highest setting, I would say you don't get paid today. Plain and simple. Do what's right or you don't get paid. And if they're cutting it real close because it's easy and it's pretty and all, it's not good for the grass. So either they do it right, mow high, and it only takes less than a minute to adjust their mower. And when it comes to fertilizing, grass only needs a light feeding maybe once a year. Every 2 or 3 years is plenty. And to say otherwise is counterintuitive because a lot of people, they don't fertilize around the schoolyard or the churchyard and the grass looks great. So anyway, a little fertilizer every 2 or 3 or 4 years, maybe every year in April at the earliest, and mow high. And if they're doing that, then he just needs to see how much they're charging to do those two simple things: mow high, fertilize light every year or 2 or 3. That's all the grass needs. Anything else is, I don't know, it's just counterintuitive. So I actually just gave a talk, Abram, 3 weeks ago to the North Carolina Turf Maintenance Association, professionals who come together once a year to learn about stuff. And my approach was how to help your customers get away from the wall-to-wall grassing. And here's what I would suggest. Have an area of your lawn that's edged or got a little ditch or something like a putting green, and take care of it, water and fertilize and all that kind of weed control. And then have a second type of lawn. Have a regular mow it grows lawn with wildflowers and bees and butterflies. Mow it every other time, and then have a small throw rug like a putting green that makes you smile and feel like you're actually a good person. So that way you have the best of both worlds. So mow high, fertilize every now and then. If you just got to have control, have a smaller area separated. By the way, people who mow too close are going to end up with stuff like this. I showed it earlier. This is a little ferny looking thing. It's a mass of plants. It looks like little bitty ferny looking things. This is stickers, lawn burrweed, spurweed, whatever you would call it. Stickers grow, they sprout in the fall, they grow over the winter, they have tiny little white flowers and set seeds that got a spur on that stick in your, not just your feet, because you can put on flip-flops, but they stick in your dog's paws. Your dog can't walk on it. But if you have trouble with stickers, there's two things you can do. First of all, if you want to spray, this is the time. It's getting late. They're easy to control in January, February, maybe first part of March, before they go to flower. So if you'll get something that will control dandelions and clover, whatever will kill dandelions and clover will kill stickers if you spray it early. Once they start flowering, weed killers just don't work, and the weed killers are most likely to hurt your grass. So spray now if you must, the clover and dandelion. Second thing is, if you've got stickers, they're telling me that you're mowing too close. Stickers are a symptom of a thin, weak lawn. They're the symptom, not the cause. So if you got a lot of trouble with stickers, spray them now, get you some flip-flops, maybe some little booties for your dog's feet, and then spend this year getting your grass thick, mow a little bit higher, fertilizing light sometime in April. That's the number one and number two control for stickers, is a good, healthy, thick lawn.
Take a breath after that one.
I'm on a soapbox. I mean, and I go both ways. By the way, I want to show one last thing before we take a call. Where is it? I don't know if you can see these little things. I'll stand up, maybe see it against my shirt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen those before. I don't know what they are, but I've seen them plenty of times.
They look like worms hanging out of trees, oak trees and pine trees. These are catkins. These are male flowers. That's the male flower. And if you thump it, pollen does it. It's like a dust of pollen. I'm not going to do it in the hotel room. But anyway, oaks and soon-to-be pecans have these little catkin things. Those are the male flowers. That's where the pollen comes from. And it blows on the female flowers, which where acorns and pecans come from. So they're not worms. And if they bother you, rake them up, use them as a mulch in your garden. They're just spent pollen flowers. They're perfectly good mulch in the flower bed.
I don't know. If I go around and walk outside, I would be convinced that all the pollen ended up on my car and not on any flowers.
Oh yeah, I've got a John Deere green old pickup truck that's is yellow right now, and one of the reasons why I'm a little bit jumpy right now is not just because I'm broadcasting from a hotel room, but because of the antihistamines. Woo!
The combination of the antihistamines and all the coffee. I think I've seen you grab 3 cups of coffee or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? I take my little MPB cup with me everywhere. Look at that, my little MPB Go cup.
How beautiful.
Yep.
So nice. All right. You ready to take a break, Felder?
Yeah. No, not really, but we need to.
Well, let's run it.
Okay, we'll be back with more of the Gestalt Gardener here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting right after this. Java, I hope you're feeling better, brother.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you hated, go on about their business. Care of us.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar's right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All righty, folks, welcome back to Horticulture Felder Rushing. Before we go to the phone calls, let me see if I can get them to pull up picture number 15, because this is something that can be done this weekend. And when I get back from this trip to the Midwest Herb Society show, I'm going to be starting this myself. This is I went to the garden center, I got a mix, 3 or 4 different kinds of lettuce seeds, picture number 15. 3 or 4 different kinds of lettuce, some frilly stuff, some plain stuff, some green stuff, some red stuff. And what I do is I take those seeds and I mix them together. I don't know if they got that picture or not.
I don't think they got it up. There it is. There it comes.
Here we go. Yeah, I just get 3 or 4 different kinds of lettuce and I mix them together and I take a pinch of that mix and I put it in a little pot, just a little pinch, and water it. And within like a week, you got a little mixed salad growing. And if you do that every couple of weeks or so in several pots, you will be growing an entire little mixed salad green, and you know whether the people who picked it washed their hands or not. But this is called mesclun, or a mix. It's a good time to put out potatoes if you don't already have them. As far as cool season things, broccoli, cabbage, this is the time to do it so they get mature before it gets too hot. But the little mixed lettuce greens, something kids can do. You can do it on a patio tabletop. Pretty little mixed salad greens called mesclun. And with that, let's, and I want to mention again, next Thursday, March the 12th, I'm giving a presentation at the Bolivar County Library in the evening, Thursday evening, in Cleveland. That'll be free. And then the next Friday the 13th, right after our program, I'm doing a presentation at the Agriculture Museum. First time they've done a series, and thanks to a grant from the Humanities Council, they're not charging for entrance. That'll be at noon on Friday the 13th. Anyway, now let's go to Mobile and talk with Mikey. Good morning, Mikey. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm so glad to hear you today. As usual, you've inspired me to make some comments about the catkins that you were talking about. And and you just re-inspired me again, because I was going to ask a question about things that are good, because St. Patty's Day ain't that far away.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, okay, but anyway, back to the catkin thing. And I probably heard this from you in the first place. That a kid had won a science project by collecting those and doing an experiment with whether regular soil or different soils and or pure collected catkins in the egg carton things would grow better and faster, or whatever, seedlings. I thought that was so fascinating. I had to try it myself because I, inundated with oak trees and pecans. I went, well, I'll just rake some up and, I started using them. I had so much, I started using it as mulch and pots.
It's a great mulch.
And apparently it's got a really high nitrogen content and a bunch of minerals and stuff, right? I mean, it's the blooms from. Well,
it's the male flowers, and if nothing else, I mean, it's free mulch and it does decompose and provide nutrients. So anyway, it's a good thing. I appreciate that.
And it's aerated easily too, in particularly small spaces like an egg carton.
There you go. Great tip. Thank you
sir.
So much. Appreciate it. We got any more calls?
Nothing lined up right now. So if you would like to call us, 877 MPB ring is the number to call. You had something?
I got I was checking the Mississippi Gardening Facebook page, which, by the way, if you're Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, we join us. It's okay. But we're talking about amateur gardening in Mississippi. And one of the questions that came up today from Dallas Anita Harris, does it hurt tomato plants to leave pots outside overnight on these warmer nights. A lot of people, Abram has started their seeds early, not too early, because we want to set tomatoes and peppers and eggplants, the solanaceous plants. They like warm soil. They don't like cold soil. They don't like cold rains. So a lot of people plant too early and their plants get stunted. They don't die. They at least get stunted. But we want to set them out in April, which means this is a good time of year to start them. And if you got little small transplants indoors, it's really important to put them outside. Grow lights are really cool. They're fun and all that. But there's nothing like real solar radiation and also cool temperatures, coolish, down in the 50s and 40s, makes the plant sturdy and stocky. Also, the wind blowing them a little wind motion, coolish weather, and real sunshine is what makes those plants sturdy and stocky, as opposed to the long, leggy things that you just kept indoors. Anyway, as long as it doesn't get down below about 40, 45 or so, I'd leave them out all the time. Do need to protect them from squirrels, though, because squirrels can always look for something to dig in. So,
and that goes back to you talking about the bending the vines of whatever. I forgot what tree you're talking about earlier, but it's the same concept with the wind, right?
Yeah. Anything that roughs plants up, thickens them up, it's a hormonal thing. By the way, this morning you said, have you got some other pictures from your yard or just the Daphne?
I've got a couple. If the live stream producers want to pull in, I think A3 is just a picture of the wildflowers and the grass in my yard. Yeah, there it is. It's a bunch of wildflowers and the dandelion. Is that dandelions, I believe, and some dead nettle?
I can't see. The picture's so small and my eyes are jigging from the antihistamines, but it looks like maybe some clover in there, maybe some dandelions.
Not very healthy yard, I don't think, but it's growing up very tall right now.
Okay, now this is, I'm not going to get on a rant, I promise you, but there's two approaches to lawn care. One is the old-fashioned, 1,000-years-old mow what grows thing. By the way, the first lawnmower was invented in 1835 by a guy named Edwin Budding, who just, that little push mower with the little reel, the one that sounded like you're clearing the throat. That was invented in 1835, not even 200 years ago. Before then, people just use a side. They just cut whatever and just mow what grows. It works. I was raised with mow what grows, with clover and dandelion and all that kind of stuff. And if you just mow these things in April, the grass will do fine. See, so you can have wildflowers, dandelions, clover, wild onions, these kind of things, a henbit, they're perfectly fine right now and loaded with pollinators. And so we have a trend called No Mow March. If you can just wait until April to mow. But in your case, now that little Daphne is coming along, she's going to need a place to run. If you can just mow part of it and leave part of it unmowed, you can always come back and mow that other part later. So, it's okay to mow part of it and then have some little swaths of wildflowers because it looks cool and it's good for the pollinators. It's crucial for early pollinators. So
yeah,
it's called a flower lawn.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do appreciate it. We were outside this morning drinking our coffee, and my wife just went, the parts that are growing are so nice, and then the other parts that are dead from the dog walking are very very dirty and dusty.
Dogs and grass do not mix.
Yeah.
They do not mix. So
do you mind if I show one more picture?
Of course not.
All right. Can we go to A4 is what I believe it is. I was walking in.
While they're doing that, if you listen, if you go to YouTube and type in Gestalt Gardener, or go to mpbonline.org, type in Gestalt Gardener or the garden, whatever, you can see these pictures anytime you want to. 3 a.m. when you've got palpitations and all, give you something to calm down. So what we got? What's this picture?
So if we could go to A4, I believe the reason I took a shot of it was because I don't know what it is. Do you see it? I was walking into MPB this morning, and it's this really nice like soft pink, and it gets closer to hot pink in the center, and it's got these like yellow like spindlies coming out of it. I don't know what it's called, but they're very nice.
Is it on a bush?
It is on a bush, yes sir.
Abram, that's an azalea.
Azalea, okay. I was not taught any of this stuff. I don't even know what type of grass is in my backyard.
Okay, listen. Ignorant just means you don't know yet.
Exactly.
So it's okay. Dumb is not asking.
You can always make fun of me later.
No. It's not making fun. It's having fun because there's stuff I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I wish I didn't know, but I'm learning stuff all the time. And have we got any calls yet? Because I got some other pictures I want to show if we don't.
I believe we have Brenda, who has been waiting on very patiently for us.
Let's do that. That's what we're here for. We're here for you, Brenda. What's up?
I have a quick question for you. I had been raised up in northeast Mississippi, and in our childhood, we always visited aunts and mamas that had a sweet shrub bush in their yard. And so we remember them, but here we are 60 years down the road, and we don't know what to ask for. We don't know what they're called.
Okay, well, there's three things that get confused, and just like a lot of people call, there's a plant that some people call it English dogwood, other people call it mock orange. It's the same plant. Sweet olive, it's got a really interesting Latin name, Osmanthus fragrans. It's a just sort of generic big leaf plant. It's got little clusters of small flowers up and down the stems close to the leaves, and it's called sweet olive. Sweet olive is a real fragrant thing. Blooms in the spring. There's one that blooms in the fall also, but there's one called sweet shrub that's actually a native plant. The Latin name is Calicanthus. It's got kind of burgundy flowers. Was that what you remember? Were they white flowers?
Okay, well, these blooms, as we remember them, were red, kind of a deep red.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
that's right.
They smelled so good.
That's called sweet shrub, not sweet olive, but sweet shrub. And it's a native plant. It grows perfectly well in the shade. If you got a little shaded area. But as long as you ask for sweet shrub, the Latin name is Calicanthus. But anyway, it's a great old. And I'll tell you another plant from my childhood. It blooms about the same time. It's a big bush. It's got a sort of a pale brown, yellowish brown, and it smells like banana. And they call it banana shrub.
Okay.
Anyway, all three of those
I just wanted our children to experience these.
Well, sweet shrub, you can get it online. There's not many people selling in garden centers because it's not showy like azaleas and crepe myrtles. But it is widely available. And there are you still in northeast Mississippi?
No, I'm down here on the Gulf Coast now.
I'd be real surprised if they didn't have some sweet shrub for sale at the plant sales at either Crosby Arboretum over near Picayune or at the Mobile Botanic Garden. But a lot of times these both those places carry native plants, and sweet shrub is what you want.
Okay, I'll check those out. Thank you so much, and we enjoy your program so much.
I appreciate being part of it. There's nothing that's more important in creating lifelong memories than showing a kid, making a kid smell something like honeysuckle or magnolia or sweet shrub or sweet olive. Kids will remember smells long after they remember a lot of other stuff. So, if you get one, grab some neighborhood kids and make them smell
them. Thank you so much.
We appreciate your call. Thank you so much. How about that?
That's a funny way to say it. Just grab some neighborhood kids and make them smell them.
Well, you can do that. Right now you can associate Daphne with dirty underwear.
Well,
dirty, but she'll grow out of that. But, get her to smell magnolias while she's little. She'll remember you the rest of her life. A lot of people, by the way, are planting a little bit early. And I have two pictures I want to show in particular. If we could put up picture number 6. This is what my little raised bed looks like. I put a frame around it and some fencing, mostly to keep the raccoons out. But I can throw some plastic over it and make it like a little miniature greenhouse. I open it up when the day is warm, but it's going to frost. I just simply cover it up, and that traps the heat from the soil. And then picture number 7, something the garden centers don't carry these. You can get them online. This is called frost cloth. You can put some sticks out in your garden, put something on top of the stick so it doesn't tear, and you just drape this frost cloth over your plants. It may not protect against a hard freeze, but it'll protect a lot of these cool things like broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage and lettuce and things like that. It'll protect them from a light freeze. So if you're planting early, if you're a gambler, get you some tools to help you out, because Mother Nature doesn't care whether you plant early or not. She's going to do what she wants to do. Anyway, I just want to throw that out.
All right. Well, while we're waiting on some more calls, you want to take a break, Felder?
Yeah, I want to play this other tune. This is a little short one. It's a this Red Robin. For some reason, I got on these 1950s and 60s old crooner type tunes, and this is just an old fashioned one called Side by Side. We ain't got a lot of money, but we got each other. Anyway, we're gonna do that. Folks here at MPB, our live stream producers, we got John C. and Marissa. Kevin is our phone greeter. The MPB version of the Walmart door greeter, and then we're just gonna take a little break and come back. The antihistamine is starting to wear off. I don't know what to do. Either that, the coffee's kicking in. I don't know, but we're gonna take a quick break and come back with more of your phone calls right after this.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All righty, welcome back. Hey, Abram, I just sent you another picture. It's worth putting up if you get a chance. Where are you?
I had to move my phone. It's charging right now. It's about to die. We've been on this this call for so long. It's gonna die.
Yeah. Well, if you get a chance, forward that picture I just sent you. Let me show something real quick. This time of year, there's a lot of things that are starting to bloom, including one that blooms in the wintertime. If they could put up picture number 1, this is one of the most classic pass-along plants all over Earth. You'll never see it. It's a type of iris. You'll never see it in an Iris Society show because it blooms a month before or more before the show irises. This is, some people call it cemetery whites or white flags. This is Iris albicans, little short stubby leaves, short stems with white flower, only white flowers. Iris albicans, the root of it was dried and used as a herbal fixative. It was called orris root. Orris root was one of the oldest medicinal herbs ever. But I just want to put this out because this will grow in a cemetery. Dead people can grow this. So, I mean, and it always blooms early. It'll bloom nestled up against the trunk of an oak tree in heavy shade. It'll bloom. It's just a really good early blooming iris, white flags or Iris albicans. Reason I like it is because it's just sturdy. It's really, really sturdy. And even when it doesn't bloom, the foliage is an important little shape contrast. It looks good with other perennials because you get that little spiky effect. Anyway, I just want to throw that out. And
those are nice looking.
Yeah, and they're easy. You see some, and it's never been sold anywhere. You see it all over the place, all over the world, never been sold. Every time it blooms, it came from somebody who got it from somebody, so you get that little web. Now, I don't know if we got any calls up, but I want to show a close-up of 2 different kinds of daffodils. This one is called paper whites. Paper whites are multiple flowers, usually white or pale yellow, with white or yellow cups. Paper whites are multiple flowers. Narcissus tizeta, this is one of the earliest bloomers, is intensely fragrant. But the other one I want to show is called jonquil. Jonquils are smaller. They're not those great big large cup daffodils, and they're among the earliest. The reason to call jonquils, I'm going to pull this leaf out and show you. The leaves are shaped like a quill. Most daffodil leaves are flat like a butter knife, but the ones that are shaped like a little quill are the true jonquilla, Narcissus jonquilla. Now, people call them all sorts of things. I don't care what you call them. You call them all that. Call them buttercups, whatever you want to call them. But Narcissus jonquilla, Narcissus tizeta. The reason I'm showing this, I brought this up to show this to these people up in the Midwest, because guess what? They can grow rhubarb, they can grow peonies, they can grow all sorts of stuff, but they can't grow these because they will freeze. This is our plant. Camellias and paper whites and jonquils are southern plants, and you should take advantage of it and grow them.
Those look nice. We do have a call coming in just a second, but yeah, I feel like you always say the dead people can grow these plants, and I'm not confident that I can keep them up myself.
Yeah, well, the only way you can kill these plants is by planting them in good dirt and watering them. I'm just saying, I've spent my lifetime, my career, not as an anti-horticulturist, but as they got to come up with another word. It's not sub, not super, and not anti. But horticulture is always towards the latest, the greatest, the crop production. Matter of fact, I don't know if I've got this picture. Yeah, let's put this picture up. Picture number 11. And I promise I won't rant anymore. Picture number 11 is one I show to all plant societies. A rose, iris, camellia, daffodil, a herb society. I show this to all of my talks, to all of them. Uh-oh, that's not it. Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me, it's picture number 12. And by the way, but this one is a picture of how you can have a red, white, and blue garden by putting blue bottles in it. You see what this is? Can you tell?
Is those cups from different areas?
Shot glasses.
Shot glasses, okay.
Yeah, and this is my friend Rick Griffin. He collects shot glasses all of his life from all over, and he has a whole shelf with dozens and dozens of shot glasses. Now, to you and me, they all look exactly alike, but look at close, there's something a little different about them. They're all shot glasses, but only shot glass people appreciate the differences and the subtleties of them. Well, that's what plant societies are like. Azaleas, roses, daffodils, irises, they all sort of look alike in that group, but the people who really appreciate them look for little subtle differences, and the ones that got the most unique differences are the ones that get the awards. So anyway, so when you're talking to a daffodil group, you're talking to shot glass collectors who collect daffodils instead. And they all look different to them. They all look alike to me.
Right. Trying to keep up with it yourself is a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, shot glasses.
Very cool. We have Peg in Mandeville on the line if you're ready for her.
Of course. Good morning, Peg. What's going on the North Shore?
Well, we're having spring and it's really nice.
No. You're having late winter, and it's really nice. Spring will take care of itself. Savor late winter.
Well, it looks like spring.
No, it looks like I'm going to say it looks like late winter, and we need to appreciate what we can have in Mandeville, Louisiana. You can have the most incredible February a month before spring.
Yes, exactly. So
I didn't mean to jump on. What's the?
I have been trying to grow this little button bush, and I had a tree cut down in my yard that was dropping limbs, and of course they dropped something on top of this button bush that I've been trying to nurture, and so far it's just a twig and nothing's coming out. I'm leaving it to see. You think Mother Nature's going to take care of it, or is it just kaput?
It could be. First of all, I want to make sure what is what I'm thinking of as button bush. Is it the one with the sort of a Sputnik looking round, spiky flowers in the late spring and summer?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a great native plant. Yeah, it's one of the best pollinator plants too, by the way. It should do fine. Now, where you see button bush naturally growing is always along creeks or, kind of moist areas. So if you've got an area that's kind of high and dry, if you'll just give it a little extra soaking every 2 or 3 weeks, it'll grow a lot better. But I bet it'll do fine. If you got some broken stuff, Peg, snip it off below there. It sounds counterintuitive, but the snipping it off will actually stimulate faster, stronger new growth. And because the roots are intact, it'll actually outgrow anything that's going off of weak stuff. So if you need to prune it a little bit, that's actually an empowering thing.
Well, I think it's too small, except that maybe they knocked off the top, and it's only like 3.5 feet high.
Oh no, that's I still cut it. I still cut it back. Young plant, I would still cut it back. That will make it more vigorous, and it'll still bloom on new growth. So just in case. Right now, it's going to be a little on the weak side.
Yeah, and I was going to tell you that the lyre leaf sage that comes up every year in my tiny little lawn that I have in the front is so beautiful. Can I just throw other wildflower seeds in that little bit of lawn? Because I don't mow it until the lyre leaf sage have finished.
You can. Lyre leaf sage is a great native plant. It reseeds itself. Most of the wildflowers that we want in the lawn, the February, March type wildflowers that you can mow later, typically their seeds sprout in the fall. So what I would do is I would look around for wildflowers that you like, some small low growing ones, and then save those seeds and then throw them out this fall. They'll do a whole lot better. Okay. Make sure the seeds are in contact with dirt. If they're caught up in thatch and leaves and stuff, they won't grow. But as long as you put it out, turn your rake upside down and just rake it, make sure the seeds down, and it'll do fine. It'll do fine. By the way,
that sounds great.
Even though you're pretty far south, the further north you go, the more different kinds of daffodils we can grow. I mean, there's some that I can't grow in the south. They grow better up in Michigan. But there's some early bloomers like the jonquils, the true jonquils, and there's a little one called tete-a-tete, Teteatete, a little small daffodil. You just scatter a few of those here and there, and when they bloom, they don't compete with the wildflower. They're small, they're low growing, and they actually enhance the wildflowers. And then when it's time to eventually mow, just cut them down. They'll come back every year. They're early bloomers, and the early bloomers is what it takes near the coast.
That's great. That's what I want. The things I can cut down and they'll just come back.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of a lot of people don't realize that daffodils make new bulbs and flower buds for next year after they finish blooming. And so when they cut them down or they braid them or whatever, that cuts down next year's flowers. So it needs 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks after they flower before they make next year's. So the early bloomers always flower early. The leaves manage to make plenty of new buds before it's time to mow.
Okay. Look, that's great. I'm on it.
Okay, I got to ask you this, Peg. You're in Mandeville. You got any Mardi Gras bees in your yard?
Well, they're near the bottle tree and the stumpery. So yes, a few.
Good. Some people hang stuff out of holes in their ears. I put Mardi Gras bees in bottles all over everywhere instead. Same thing.
Well, when there's nothing blooming, you still got that to look at. So it's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for calling, Peg. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, boy. I got to hit one more time, remind folks that because might not have time for next Thursday night, which is March the 12th.
March 12th.
I'm going to be giving a program at the Bolivar County Library in Cleveland. I don't know what, it's either 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock, but it's in the evening in Cleveland. That's next Thursday night, and it's free. I think we'll have a lot of fun. And also, right after the program next Friday, I'm going to the Agriculture Museum, which is on Lakeland Drive down near the Interstate 55. It's been sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council, so they're not charging for it. We're going to take a look at the little herb garden, which has been there since 1986. Got herbs and a few little antique type plants. And we're going to be talking about all that kind of stuff. It'll be a lot of fun, and it's free. Hope to see some of y'all next next Friday the 13th at noon at the Agriculture Museum in the main building. We're going to have some, I really like talking about stuff like this because it's my passion. I was raised with this, and these are the kind of plants that survive, and that's what I'm all about.
All right, well, we got about 15 seconds till break, Felder, and then we can come back and talk to the live stream.
Break? What kind of break?
Just a real quick one.
Okay, we'll be right back. I feel really, really good because I'm about to talk to a bunch of Northerners. We're not going to call them Yankees, but just Northerners about gardening the way we do in the South. We'll be right back with more of the Gestalt Gardener right after this.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970,
Connect
MPB
with the
has
people
been
looking
enriching the
to
lives
connect
of
with you.
Mississippians.
Become an underwriter with
Everything we
Mississippi
do
Public
gives us the
Broadcasting.
chance to grow
For more
and
information, go to MPB online.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Every parent wants their child to grow, to explore, and to dream big. At MPB, we're proud to support families and teachers across Mississippi with trusted educational programming and resources that inspire learning and spark imagination. From PBS Kids Favorites to digital tools and early learning support, MPB is here for young minds, engaged classrooms, and families who believe in the power of learning at every age. Empowering families, inspiring learners. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back again. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. Been having, the antihistamines and the coffee and broadcast from a hotel room has really got me kind of wound up. It's no telling what these folks at the Herb Society are going to think, because I'm going to walk on a stage in 30 minutes. So I'm going to be all jazzed up from talking about gardening.
Well, good luck to them.
I got my bouquet to show off. So anyway, we got any callers or what?
We don't have any more callers right now, but we've gotten several questions from the live stream. I feel like I haven't addressed enough of the live stream today. So let's go. First, we had Betty. I hope you're still in the chat, Betty. She asked a while ago, with the drench for crepe myrtles, how far out do I need to put it, and do I need to dig a little trench for it?
Good question. For people who are not sure, we have a real bad disease called crepe myrtle bark scale. And there's all sorts of people saying you do this. The only thing that will control this, and I work with the American Crepe Myrtle Society. The only thing to control it is to use a liquid soil insecticide that's absorbed by roots, and you put it out in March or April. It's too early. March or April when the trees leaf out. The main thing, it doesn't matter. You don't have to dig a trench, but if it gets caught up in grass or thatch or mulch, it gets bound up. So if you can pull in the mulch back and just pour it around bare dirt, or if you got it where there's some grass or something, put it out there and then water it in. Make sure it gets down into the dirt, not just caught up in the grass. But anyway, you don't need to dig if you wanted to dig some little holes and pour a little here and there. Main thing is get it to the roots in the dirt, not caught up in mulch. Good question though.
Okay, well I hope that helps, Betty. Next up we have W.A. Reynolds, I believe is what that username is. I'm not sure. It says, where can I get Biloxi Blue Verbena? Is that right?
Huh. Yep. I don't know. Biloxi Blue was actually discovered, was found in Texas. It was called Blue and Gold at the time. A guy named Greg Grant was renamed by a guy named Norman Winter to Biloxi Blue. But I don't know who carries it. I can't keep track of that. But it is a good, dependable verbena for the deep south. Perennial verbena. It comes back every year, but I don't know who carries it.
Is it a blue flower that comes up, or?
Yeah. It's a little spreading ground cover type thing. There's little clouds of of little pale blue flowers, little clusters of flowers, kind of a ground cover looking thing. It's a great little plant, but garden centers don't sell a lot of these things, Abram, because they don't look good in pots. People want to buy things that already look good, and this is the plant. If you don't know what it is, you're not going to buy it because it's just some leaves in a pot. So garden centers tend to buy things that sell themselves. Reason you don't get a lot of great native plants because they don't look like much in pots. So anyway, I have no idea when you get Biloxi Blue.
Yeah, they sound nice. I would love to see them myself, like in person, because I love I'm just a big color blue fan in general. Next up,
you like blue?
Yes. What's a good one?
Blue is one of the hardest to find, but we have some really good ones. As a matter of fact, I work on this red, white, and blue garden theme. And there's not a lot of things that are blue that last a long time. There's a plant called Blue Daze, D-A-Z-E. Most garden centers you care. Blue Daze is just non-stop blue. But it's hard to find things that bloom for a long time in our heat and humidity that are blue. But that's a good one. And we'll touch on that again next week. By the way, next week I'm going to show pictures of my hotel room studio.
Yeah, we couldn't get it in today, but I see it just now. You got a setup right now.
I did not make up my bed this morning.
Yeah, you not be alone in that right there, I will say.
Yeah. Well, making up a bed makes you feel like you got a grip. It's a good thing to do. I'm not gonna do it in a hotel room, because nobody cares. But when you make up a bed, it's sort of like mowing the grass. You look back and see, I did that. I'm okay. I'm okay for right now. Make up the bed, mow the grass. We're okay.
Yeah, you're too focused on garden beds.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that, it's a weird world, as you know, and anything that helps you feel like you got a grip, and making up the bed is a good place to start. Wash dishes too.
Right. Well, that has been consistently one of my chores, or just chores in general, is washing dishes with all the bottles and laundry that we go through now with the baby. So now it's time to get into the garden once again, because I've been neglecting it since she's arrived. But
we got plenty of time. Sometime holler at me when I'm back. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Holler at me sometime. I'll swing by and we'll kick some ideas around.
Sounds good. Look,
Felder. I want to see that little baby too.
I'll make sure she's around. I'm not going to keep her from everyone.
Where did Daphne come from? Where did that name come from? It's a beautiful, fragrant flower, but where did that name come from?
Well, that's exactly where we wanted a flower name, and then her middle name is Ruth because we wanted a biblical name as well. But yeah, we wanted to name her after a flower. But Felder, we have cooked through the show. We've got about 45 seconds left.
Okay, and I get to go. I got to put on a sports coat, tie my hair back, and talk to a bunch of upper Midwest herb people. And I'm going to brag about some of the stuff we got. But we're going to talk about historic heirloom stuff, just like we'll be talking about the Agriculture Museum next Friday at noon. Hope to see some of y'all there. Meanwhile, if you get a chance, go to a garden center, look for some blue flowers, and put them in a pot and smile and show kids what we do best. That's how to get dirty. See y'all next week.